We're only a short way into 2021, and it's got us thinking about the travesty that was 2020. Not solely for the sake of the global pandemic that changed the lives of every human being on the planet, but also for the sheer number of poor quality games that were released. Many of them, in our opinion, cash grabs. So, without further delay, here is our list of 2020's biggest cash grabs. We were incredibly excited for the return of XIII, especially considering we were big fans of the original release on the PlayStation 2. When we initially heard of the remastered release, our excitement levels were similar to that of hearing a potential Time Splitters trilogy remake, or perhaps even a Time Splitters 4 for that matter. XIII Remake had what can only be described as a botched release. It just sort of appeared, without any real build-up, in-depth marketing campaign or nostalgic tuggings at the heartstrings. What we were greeted with was a hollow imitation of a once beloved game, looking more like a Fortnite DLC than a beloved franchise from yesteryear. There was also the issues of bugs at launch, low compatibility, and gameplay issues. Sadly, it seems they took what was once unique and made it a generic mess. Though the developers have promised to fix these issues, we can't help but feel this sounds awfully similar to throwing glitter on a turd. Now, in any other year of gaming, this would certainly win our award of Cash Grab of the Year, hands down, especially considering our judging criteria. As you could imagine with a Fast and Furious game, it's a big movie concept, a nice payday for the original actors to do some petty voice lines before heading back home to laugh their asses off and begin pouring their champagne baths. You could almost imagine a scenario in the Game Awards where the cast is lumbered out on stage like a twisted puppet show to announce a game for a franchise they so wish they could outrun by this point. There is very little to speak of with this game. Its presentation is terribly poor, the voice acting is painful, and the gameplay is truly non-existent. On another note of AAA tragedy, the base game is £50. But that's not all, no. There is also a Season Pass edition for £75. Fantastic value. Where do we begin with this game? CD Projekt Red were untouchable, heralded saviours of the gaming industry before the release of Cyberpunk, top developers incapable of doing any wrong, until the release of Cyberpunk, of course. There isn't much we can say that hasn't already been said, in great volume and force, by other voices in the gaming world. Simply, Cyberpunk is a bug-ridden mess that presents gamers with a deeply unsatisfying experience to the point that refunds were offered en masse to huge numbers of console and PC owners. In fact, it was removed completely from the PlayStation Store. Damage limitation seems an understatement if you ask us, but it's hard to say what happened here specifically. Yet it's no real mystery that CD Projekt Red were rolling the dice on cashing in on a truly inferior product that they had already profited on due to the vast number of pre-orders put forward for Cyberpunk. For this reason, we couldn't not present Cyberpunk as one of 2020's biggest cash grabs. This game gets an honourable mention, simply for taking us by surprise. When we first saw that a new Hyrule Warriors was in development, we found ourselves sitting somewhere between mild nervousness and quietened intrigue. The fact that the game was to be based 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild was a hugely interesting concept, yet it could have also been a convenient way of using the beloved Breath of the Wild as a means to draw in thirsty Zelda fans to a potentially shallow and muddied game. This seemed a very realistic possibility, especially considering the release of Breath of the Wild 2 on the distant horizon. Much to our great relief, this was not to be the case. They managed to take the aspects of Breath of the Wild that work without overwhelming the IP, all the while maintaining a fantastic sense of action, pace, and story within the setting and gameplay. This could have been one of 2020's biggest cash grabs. We're happy to say that it's potentially 2020's biggest surprise. And so we announce our award of 2020's biggest cash grab to Super Mario 3D AllStars. Super Mario 3D AllStars has been a huge success in 2020, and with good reason. Yet this still stands as a truly monumental cash grab. Firstly, we will hold our hands up and admit that our copy was pre-ordered, just like so many others. Yet the fun-loving tech monsters at Nintendo certainly know how to grab you, and your wallet for that matter. Nintendo has effectively put their main man in red in a hastily put together collection of some of Super Mario's most popular 3D releases, given it a timed release and done a fantastic job of advertising the nostalgia-fueled collection. Inevitably, this had people flocking to get a copy of their own and relive their favourite Mario journeys all over again on the Switch. The reason this game wins Cash Grab's award for 2020's biggest cash grab is simply because it could have been so much more. Certainly, both Sunshine and Galaxy received definitive enhancements, but that shouldn't be accepted as enough, especially from a first-party release from Japan's Happy gaming company. Super Mario Sunshine didn't work with a GameCube controller at launch, and Super Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't even included within the collection, which seems utter madness. The game truly wins because of its laziness. Nintendo knew all they needed to do was release this small collection of games, present them as they are, and they'd sell millions. Swiftly forgetting that there are a huge number of potential improvements, options, and fixes that could have been implemented to improve the user experience on current-gen consoles. It's a rehash of old content. Fantastic content, we can't deny, yet its lack of creativity and finesse make it 2020's biggest cash grab. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and consider heading over to our Patreon so we can continue crucifying video games for many years to come.